You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
What's up, my friend?
Good morning. Brooke Silva, road warrior for KW New England, checking in. I love it.
I'm Zoom warrior. I love this. The amount of people that I talk to in any given week without leaving my office is a beautiful thing. I do enjoy getting out in public once in a while, and I appreciate it even more because it's not every day.
Yeah, and I don't love Zooms. My energy is
in the classroom.
I need my people. I need my people.
So
let's give them their affirmation.
Go for it.
Negative thoughts do not control me.
Yes. And we're gonna talk about complaining today. And we're just gonna go, and we didn't plan, we're just gonna go with it. So here's the deal. Yesterday, you were ridiculously salty. You made me look like, I don't even know what, like sugar. And I don't do sugar.
No, and I spoke to someone about my saltiness yesterday. I did a good mindset reset in the evening, but I will tell you that this week has been, and this is not me, so I know there's a lot of negativity swirling in our world, but yesterday came to a head for me with just the amount of complaining that was happening and things that had nothing to do with us doing our jobs. And it had nothing to do with personal lives. It was just, you know what my mom would call it? Nitpicking. Like just breaking apart the smallest things that mean nothing to anything. And they are excuses to not do things. And I'm not calling anybody out because we all get in our own way, in our own heads sometimes. We all do. But I was the recipient of so much negativity, and I don't usually get that, and I'm thankful for it in a weird way because it means we have earned the trust of our people. But they didn't come at me with I need response or I need listening, right? And I was stunned by some of the things I got, so I was in a zone of dumb and shocked. So I think it was just amazing how the amount of complaining just piled up on me, and it sunk my ship earlier this week, especially coming from a high of teaching in a market center for a few days and having difficult, not everything is sunshine and roses, difficult meetings with fantastic outcomes and future goals. So my week was like this, like the emotional roller coaster I got put on this week. And boy, did that affect my performance yesterday.
Yeah, well, and you needed a vacation day, and thankfully it's in the calendar for the week of the 17th.
Yes,
of April.
Yes.
Of
April.
Yeah. So here's my thing, though. When you spend that energy complaining, are you moving forward in your business or your life? Take business out of it, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we got into whatever business we're in for something, and you have goals and dreams. The amount of energy talking about, well, it doesn't work the way I want it to work, or it could be better with this, or A, just do it, and B, if it doesn't work the way you want it to work, how do you manipulate it, or just don't do it at all? But you still have to do your job to get your business, to get your profit, to have the life that you desire.
Agree. And I'm not calling anybody out, right? This came from everywhere, but it came from so many different places in so many different groups of people that I was like, is it a full moon?
It was a full moon.
I said, because this is everybody, and I'm not one who's easily manipulated by other people's attitudes. So what did it do to the people around you? If it affected the person who's the most positive person in the room, like, and I know like a couple people just broke me. Like it was just a stacked effect that last complaint just opened Salty Brook, and I came pouring out on one of your meetings, and I was just, it may have worked out in our favor though, that I got to be bad cop for once and you were good cop. But because I think sometimes too, you do have to go a little bit outside of who you are sometimes. Like I always say to my kids, why you got to make me get to here when I usually am here? Like, don't make me get to here.
Yeah. Well, it's every aspect of life, right? Well, and let's also talk about it, right? It is what? We're March 10th. We're in New England. It gets dark early. It's cold out. We get stuck shoveling snow.
It was 28 this morning. Now it's 40. It's like we're having a complete temper tantrum in New England.
Right. Well, and it's going to snow again. I don't know about your world, but it's going to snow again Tuesday into Wednesday next week in my world. And there's probably going to be no school on Tuesday, which means there's another day of summer that we will have to go to school, which just sucks because my kayaks are just waiting for the weather to break.
Well, can you go kayaking without your kid? Because I'm pretty sure I can.
I can. And just like the universe of business was salty, my kid is freaking salty.
I know. He's salt squatch.
He's his mother's son, and I love him for it. And he's going to be amazing, and he's going to kill it. And you need to break the system. You need to break the process. Like, so yesterday, and it's true. So on Monday, I was tasked with something. And I'll bring Brad Knowles into the conversation again, because he always has wisdom galore. Monday, I was tasked with something. What I was tasked with was going to bring negative energy into my world. And I own it. It's negative energy because of me, not because of whatever. So I waited till yesterday to do it. So all week long, I was cranky and grumpy because I had to do it. And then yesterday I did it. And I was cranky and grumpy because I knew the response I was going to get. I got the response I got, and now it's on the table, right? But here's the thing. Brad always says, number one, if you're tasked with doing something and you know it's negative, do it that second, because all you're doing is putting more energy than you need to put into it. So I failed that lesson. I failed that lesson all day long.
We all do though, because and you're right. And you built it up to something all week, and that one thing. So all of our friends who are struggling in the region and dealing with these negative thoughts and the complaining around, what would happen if we just did the thing?
Yeah.
If we just did the hard thing and got it over with, right? Yesterday, somebody did the hard thing and it worked. Somebody somewhere in the world, somebody in our world did the hard thing and it worked.
Well, I did a lot of hard things yesterday that worked.
I did too. And I had to have hard conversations yesterday, like with family, with friends. Like yesterday was not the day to cross me, I guess, but like with multiple people in my world, work. Like yesterday, I had fierce conversations yesterday. And I don't like those. I just don't, because there's no reason for me to take on other people's poor attitudes. And it might not even be a poor attitude. It's a poor moment in the time where the limiting beliefs popped up that something wasn't going to work, but yet they were not willing to try it. So just then don't complain. Either do it or
and
don't.
I'm going to put my coaching hat on and be like, where's your DNA in the situation? How short-tempered were you yesterday? Right. And this is what we have to, right? Like, so do you, and that's the whole point, right? Like when you're in a mood, when you're in a mindset, how do you reset?
Yeah, it took a lot. It took me having to go to bed really early last night.
Yeah.
I shut off everything. And for a tech person to shut off everything, like nothing. I read a paper book, like, like the thing you open and you flip through the pages.
Nonfiction or fiction?
Yep. No, it was a fun book, and I'm not telling you what it is, but it was not a business book. Good. It was something I've wanted to read forever. It's been sitting on the pile underneath all the business books, and I read like a chapter, and then I was like, I'm exhausted. today exhausted me. I'm going to bed. I don't care if it's before 9 p.m. I'm an adult. I can do what I want. And I did it. And I woke up this morning feeling refreshed. Everything went the way I wanted it to, because I also planned out my morning like I normally do. You know what else I figured out? I'm off my routine. I haven't been doing something that I am so big on, and that is my savers in the morning. For the past week, I didn't do them in my gratitude journal. And I was like, wow, this routine item that I do, while it varies on which part of the morning, I always try to do it when I first wake up, but it doesn't always happen. I didn't do it for almost a week. And I was like, well, woke up a little early, did all my savers, feel fantastic.
Well, and I think the lesson in all of that is you're allowed to have a bad day. Well, you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to have a bad 5 minutes, 10, like you make the choice. Are you going to let that be a bad day, or are you going to let it be a bad hour, a bad minute? What are you going to allow? How are you going to reset it? And make sure that you don't throw up your negative energy on the rest of the world.
And I think that's what it is, and I was very aware by the end of the day of how my attitude, like, and I didn't answer certain messages because I knew I had nothing. I was like, nope, not in a space where I can answer this. Not in this. I don't even know why I clicked the button to join your meetings, to tell you the truth. But I was like, oh, maybe we can fight it out here. Like,
we did do a little bit of that, right? But that's the benefit.
But you're my person, you know what I mean? So I knew if I got on your meeting, you would, one, call me out on my BS, and we would laugh about it.
The benefit of a Zoom call is, and this is the difference between live and Zoom, I can mute you.
Yep, but you let it go, because some of it needed to be said from a different voice too.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in the salty place to say some of the things that needed to be said yesterday. And today is a much better day. I just hope that our friends around us have the awareness to know that you get reactions based on what you're putting forth out verbally or with your body language sometimes. And I say this to my husband all the time. My reactions are always based on your delivery, sir.
Because it's all his fault.
Mostly. But
that's hysterical.
There will be times, but it's the same thing. I react pretty, like, I know I'm insane. We know this, right? I know I'm like crazy with energy, but that energy is always high. But if I am reacting, it is because of a delivery method that probably wasn't the most appropriate for the time. If you come at me with, could you help me understand why something is built this way? Could you help me understand why I should be sending it from here? Could you help me understand the benefit of doing this? That means, one, I didn't do a great job explaining the benefit of it. Or two, I need to change my own delivery. But when you come out swinging, sometimes I swing back.
Yeah.
It's not often.
Yeah.
It takes me, enjoyed my crankiness yesterday, my saltiness.
Yeah, it takes me a little bit because I'll bottle, and this is where I get in trouble, because I'll bottle, and then I explode. So I'd rather give a little taste of salt. Take it back.
Over the shoulder.
So, I mean, and so I think that the whole point of this conversation is we are all human. We all are going to go through that. And just remember, sometimes it's okay not to have the conversations at that moment because it's going to flip you. And, you know, if you're in a mood, you may not call your saltiest seller or buyer. You may wait for tomorrow, just like you did, right? You got those text messages like, yep, I'm not going to reply right now. I'll wait till tomorrow.
Yep.
100%. All right, my friend. Yep. I'm glad that your day is better.
Yes. Yeah. And it was last night, but it was, if any of you watching this were on any of the meetings yesterday, I still love you. And you would know, and it's not directed at you. It was external forces from everyone. It was almost everyone in my world was pushing in with negativity, and I succumbed to it, and I'm human and I bounce back. And that's what's important, is that we just bounce back from it, and we know and we realize what our own attitudes do to those around us. And if you're getting some poor reactions from people, maybe you need to check those delivery methods,
Come
tone,
from
facial.
curiosity. Come from
Yes.
curiosity. Yes.
Yep. I love
Right.
questions. I love theory and I love action, but I don't love being targeted some days.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
Have a fantastic weekend.
Bye.